Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. This video is for air signs for the month of March 2020. So if your sun, moon, or rising is in Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, you're in the right place. As we take a look at this month ahead for you, in most of March is going to be in Pisces season, with the last week of it switching into Aries season. So we move from watery Pisces into fiery Aries. We also have a full moon in Virgo on the 9th of this month, which you're also going to find Mercury moving direct again. So we'll be out of the retrograde as of March 9th. And then on March 16th, Mercury moves back into Pisces, where it was when we started the retrograde. So after it wraps up, it's still going to be in the shadow for a few days from the 9th. Mercury's going to hit Pisces again on the 16th. So whatever themes you were dealing with or came up for you during this past Mercury retrograde, I feel like that is going to be like the last push for whatever you need to further yourself along your soul's journey. Is going to come through on the 16th. And then we have Aries season and the spring equinox beginning on the 19th of March. Then on the 24th of March, we have the new moon in Aries. So a great time to be setting intentions and what you want to create and see blossom in this next moon cycle. All right, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, let's take a look at your month ahead. Remember, this is a general reading for all air signs, so take what resonates and leave what does not. All right, air signs, let's take a look at your March 2020. Your first card of the month is the Two of Pentacles. Followed by the Chariot, into the Ten of Wands, followed by the Three of Cups, into the Knight of Cups, into the King of Cups, into the Five of Wands, and finishing off the month with Judgment. So you have a couple major arcana cards here, air signs, with the Chariot and Judgment. But it looks like you're starting this month off with the Two of Pentacles, or the Two of Coins. This card is about balance in your finances, give and receive, flow, really feeling the flow. If you see the water here, this is Pisces season. So for you air signs, I feel like you're going to be entering the month of March with your mind on your money and your money on your mind. Just really trying to get things in order, air signs. I feel like even deeper than you ever have before. Just really bringing a lot of energy and focus into your finances and making sure that everything is really lined up and perfect, like even as far as like cleaning out your wallet, and really working on that divine, like in and out, the give and receive, the back and forth. So I feel like you might even be inspired to donate or give some things away this beginning of March. So this for you air signs might be a really good time to clean out your house, clean out your closet, donate if it moves you. But putting things out there is a really great way to make space for the new, and to giving allows for receiving. So I feel like that's how air signs are going to be starting the month. And as we move into the Chariot for the end of that first week, we still are in a Mercury retrograde until the beginning of the next week. But the Chariot is indicating that air signs, you're really ready for the momentum to come back and for this Mercury retrograde to wrap up. There's a lot of things that you want to put into action in March right now, and the energy's saying, even though the Chariot's there, it's like building that momentum. It's not quite yet, but you really see the direction in which you want to move with things. Just really having that knowing in your back pocket is what's important for things to really start to take shape later in the month. Then we have the 10 of Wands showing up for you, and this is going to be the beginning of the second week for you. This is when Mercury is moving direct. This is also during that full moon in Virgo. For you, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, this, I feel like you might feel like things are kind of at a standstill during this time. Even though Mercury is going to be moving direct at this time, it's still going to take a little while, and it's going to be in the shadows. So you're still going to be feeling the effects of that Mercury retrograde and kind of like having a lot of bottled up energy, really feeling like you want to exert some things. But what I'm hearing for you, air signs, is the time just isn't quite right yet. So you're feeling a little backed up, you're feeling a little bottled up. But now is not the time to make any moves during that full moon in Virgo. It's the time to be still reflective, to make sure that you are catching all the details. I feel like things at work or in your career, or whatever you do to express yourself in the world, might feel just a little stifled at this time. That's okay. It's just really what the energy is calling for at this time, and it is in your soul's highest purpose. So just keep that in mind if things feel a little stuck or not quite moving in the direction that you had hoped or as quickly as you had hoped the beginning of the second week. So that is while the Mercury retrograde is ending, but remember there's still some shadow there. As we move into the end of that week for you air signs, we have the 3 of Cups, which is all about celebration. So I feel like once Mercury starts moving full direct again and you're out of that shadow period, you're really gonna have see things come into place for you or fall into place by the end of the second week, air signs. It's also going to be a cause for celebration. Things are going to be very joyful as you move forward into this month and as that Mercury retrograde is wrapping up. Let's see. We also have Mercury in Pisces that's coming through the beginning of the next week, but this is that 3 of Cups energy I'm hearing for you air signs is about coming together with friends and family, celebrating something. This could be something that you've been waiting for a while, but there is connection and celebration to be had at the end of the second week of March for you air signs. And then we move into the beginning of the third week, air signs. We have the Knight of Cups there for you, and this is where we have the Mercury in Pisces again. So it's going to be hitting Pisces, is going to be coming out in your communication. So that's so interesting that you have the Knight of Cups there, because Pisces is really intuitive. It's very watery, where it's getting ready to wrap up by the end of that week or the beginning of the next. We're full on going to be in Aries season. So I feel like this is that last push for you to really express yourself or what's coming through for you, air signs, and really move forward in a way that sets the tone for you to be able to authentically express your emotions and to let that out in a way that's what I'm hearing is very noble and very dignified. There's a peace and there's a calm there for you air signs, but it's also about expression and moving forward and authenticity for you, okay? Because by the end of that week, we are going to be seeing the spring equinox right around this time when the King of Cups shows up, and we're also going to be seeing Aries season, the switch from Pisces season into Aries season, and you are in the King of Cups energy, my air sign. So you're really going to find a mastery in being able to express yourself from a place of authenticity that you're going to see that really works for you. It helps you draw things to you in a way like maybe you've never seen things come into you so quickly before, and you're going to move from the Knight of Cups right into the King of Cups, where you find a comfortability, you find a mastery, you really are weaving this kind of intuitive communication into your outer world. This isn't just something that you're doing within yourself. This is something that you're doing now in your relationships, or maybe in your intimate relationships, and it starts moving into your work relationships where you feel very safe to express yourself. So that's great, air signs. And so here we are at the beginning of Aries season. And the beginning of the 4th week, and we have the 5 of Wands here for you, air signs. So I feel like you might hit a bit of this is also during the Aries new moon. So this fire and air are a very interesting combination, because you guys, the two elements can really ignite one another, and it can be really big, and it can be very transformational, but it also can bring up some aggression and anger. So for you, air signs, just make sure that that fiery Aries energy isn't ruffling your feathers too much. Make sure that you are, practicing stress management, and you're really also practicing self-care and giving yourself what you need, and in all of this authentic expression, that you are being true to yourself, and you might have to defend yourself or stand up for yourself, and that's really going to come through the beginning of the 4th week, okay, air signs? So that's Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. I feel like with that 5 of Wands there, it really might be something where you have to put your boundaries or assert your boundaries in a way that you have to know when is when, or when is enough for you, and communicating that, okay? And then as we close out the month for you, air signs, we have Judgment. And Judgment, let's see what Judgment is saying for air signs for the end of the month. Really taking into consideration, again, so Judgment sometimes comes through as discernment, and really allowing yourself the space and the energy and the flexibility to think things through, okay? As we are now in Aries season, and this is the element of fire, and wind and air really ignite fire. Just remember to take a step back and use your best discernment with things, and remember how, accessing your intuition and not letting the ego get the best of you, as you are going to be going through a time of really making some very big decisions for yourself. So taking into consideration all of your options, as well as trying to see the truth of the matter rather than any distractions that might be around it, so that you really can make the best decision for yourself at this time. Okay, air signs? So let's take a look back over your month. We'll do a recap real quick. We have the 2 of Pentacles, or the 2 of Coins. Like I said, you're going to have your mind on your money and your money on your mind as you come into March 2020. Really trying to make sure that things are organized, and maybe that's looks like setting up auto bill pay for you, or finishing up your taxes, or just whatever has your finances in flux. I feel like there's going to be more balance coming in as you bring more focus to that area, okay, air signs? We have the Chariot right after that. It's your first major arcana card of this reading, and there's a lot of momentum that you're feeling as Pisces season is mid-swing here, and also the Mercury retrograde is still happening. So what I'm hearing for you is about really taking all of that momentum that's coming forward and using it as inspiration. It's not quite those actual physical steps that you need to take yet, but it's about creating the vision at this point, okay? All right, air signs, the beginning of the second week, we have the 10 of or the 10 of Wands, I'm sorry. And if you feel like things might be a little stifled or slow in the work or the career department, that's okay. Just take a minute to review where you're at and make sure that you're catching all the details. There's something in the details that, that's why the energy hasn't quite pushed forward yet, because you need to take a look back over at something just with the end of this Mercury retrograde. Use the review, the observer energy to go back and focus on the details of something. And then by the end of that week, we have the 3 of Cups, which is all about celebration, being around friends and family. I get there's going to be really something to celebrate the end of Pisces season as we look at moving into Aries season here very soon. And in that, you have the Knight of Cups beginning your 3rd week, air signs. This is about moving forward with open and honest communication and really being able to express yourself into a place of mastery by the end of that week. It really does feel good. You're feeling results. You're seeing things really begin to shift and change in your world, air signs. So keeping with that space of authentic expression and really feeling that mastery there and that comfortableness of being authentic to yourself. And it's going to get tested right away. The beginning of that 4th week is the 5 of Wands, and what that is boundaries, and really your boundaries might get tested and you might have to stand up for yourself or others who are close to you the beginning of the 4th week of March. That's the month we're in. And then your final card of the month, air signs, is Judgment. So really using your discernment as things pop up at the end of the month, with, like I said, with all the honest communication that you're finding yourself engaging in. I think that some things are going to come forward that are going to take your discernment, and there is going to be a big decision to be made by the end of the month. And this is not giving into the distraction, but rather being open to receive the knowledge and the wisdom available in that situation to really help you make the best decision for yourself. Okay, air signs? So all my Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius out there, thank you so much for joining me this month. And if you liked this reading, check out my Patreon page. I have readings that are more in depth by astrological sign, not just by astrological element. So, and that's just for $8 a month. You can gain access to all of those videos on my Patreon page. And I also just started a new $5 tier on Patreon, which is a past, present, and future. So a 3-card reading for each astrological season. So Pisces season is up there, and I take a look at the month or the season prior. So Aquarius season and the month that we're in, and Pisces season and the month ahead, which is Aries season. So check those out. And if you would ever like to schedule a one-on-one, I've also included a link to my website in the caption below this video, and you can schedule an appointment directly, a one-on-one, through my website at tarotbymegan.com. So I just want to thank you guys all so much for joining me this month, and I will see you next month, air signs. See you in April for Aries season. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.